Hello, everybody. Today I want to take you on a little 4D Right Pro tour to show you what 4D is capable of. My name is Julian Weidenbacher. I'm the head of technical support of 4D Germany. And let's dive right into it. 4D Right Pro is our new text engine, and we are continuously developing it and adding new features, new attributes, and new possibilities to work with this engine and create documents. We have a few features which are easy to use, like the columns or stuff like this, and we also have greater features like bookmarks, which you can use to create complex documents, but you have to rethink the way of working. Okay, the first topic, like I told, are bookmarks. What are bookmarks basically? A bookmark is a reference of a text block or a content block. So it has a start range and an end range, and everything between this range is stored in the bookmark. We can use these bookmarks to refer to the block of content, or furthermore we can use this bookmark to use the content in the range and add it to a new document. But first, let me show you how bookmarks basically work. So in here we can see we have a 4D Right Pro area on the center screen, and on the right side we have the 4D Right Pro wizard. We have some pre-created bookmarks in here. And if we click on one of these bookmarks, we can see the text in the content in the bookmark gets highlighted in the 4D Right Pro area. And if the bookmark is not on the visible area, the 4D Right Pro area jumps to the part where the bookmark sits and highlights the text again. Okay, if we want to delete a bookmark, we just can do this by deleting the bookmark, and the text is not touched, only the reference gets deleted and the text stays unchanged. Okay, now to create a bookmark, we just select an area in the document by highlighting it. And in this case, we use the plus button, which is basically using the command WP create bookmark, and we have created our own bookmark. If we click on the bookmark, we can see the text we just highlighted gets highlighted again. Okay, now this is how bookmarks basically work. Let's go to the invoice part and show you how you can create documents by using bookmarks. What we have first to do, we have to create a template. The customer has to create a template. He can create this template like he wishes to with a design he decides to use, and adds the different parts, like the header, the invoice line, and the footer. In this template, we also have two more parts, the secondary header and a subtotal amount. If the invoice don't fit on one page, you need these to start the next page for the invoice. You can see it here, it says continued and continued on next page. Okay, now the customer has done his template, and the only thing he has to do after this is to create bookmarks out of the parts in the invoice. So he has the header, he he has to create a bookmark for the header. For the invoice line, a bookmark, and for the other parts as well. Like I showed on the previous example, we can just do so by selecting the range, in first case the header, and then we can use the comment, which in this case is wrapped up in a pop-up. The comment just creates a bookmark with the name and the range. So now we have created the first, and we repeat the step for the other parts, for the secondary header, for the invoice line, for the subtotal, for every part which is in this invoice. The customer can decide, you as developer can decide which parts the customer can use in this template, and he can freely create this template on these basic guidelines. So we now have defined the 5 parts. And in FortiRate Pro, we can use expressions, for the expressions to insert the data. To test the template, in this case, we just can use a small button on the bottom to enter to show different test data. We can see the bookmark. If we select it, it gets highlighted. And if we click on the button test data, we just switches between sub-records to test our template. Okay, the part the customer has to do is finished here. Everything what comes now is the code, which you have to code. The result, the final result we can see is we can see it if we click on the invoice samples. We now see that for every customer, we have a list of customers on the left side, and on the right side we have the finished invoice. And we can now see we have the header, the invoice lines, secondary header, subtotal, and everything the customer created in the template area. And the invoice, in this case with 2 pages, uses also the secondary header and the subtotal. And if we click through the different customers, we get different invoices with different values. If we go down to a customer or an invoice which has only 1 page, we can see the secondary header and the subtotal is not used, because we coded so that it is only used if the invoice don't fit on 1 page. So now, if the customer says he wants to change something, he wants to add informations or delete or customize the design, he has just go back to the template editor and add everything he wants. In this case, a separation line, just in the invoice line part. The only thing which is important there is that the new additions, if he adds some new additions to the design, it has to be in the range. So we have to be sure that everything he adds in the design is in the range. If we now go back to our samples, we can see the changes immediately in the invoices. And yeah, that's how easy it is for the customer to change the template. Okay, what's behind this all? We have a few comments, a few new comments, and a few you already know. We start with the first to create the bookmarks. We have the common wp create bookmark. As parameter, it only needs the range, which we have selected. In our example, it was the highlighted text, and a name for the bookmark. With this comment, we can create the in our case, 5 bookmarks. And afterwards, we can use wp get bookmarks to get a list, an array of every bookmark we have created. These are 2 new comments, and something everybody of you knows, find an array. We use find an array to search for the part, in the first case the header, to add the header, and then for the invoice lines and the other parts of the invoice. We just use find an array. If we have the bookmark found with find an array, we use wp get bookmark range to get back the range of the bookmark. So the text we previously highlighted, we now get it to do further work with it. The last step after we have this range, we use it in the document wp insert document to insert the text or the content in this range in our new document, our final invoice. And this we do, like I told, in the first case for the header, we do find an array for the header, then get bookmark range, and then insert document. And we go to the next part, the invoice lines. By the invoice lines, we repeat for every invoice, for every product, for every invoice line we have, and then we go to the footer, or in case we have the more pages, we use the secondary header and the subtotal. Okay. To create invoices is basically a simple process. 4D Right Pro is capable of much more. Let me call it advanced documents. We can create flyers, brochures, or even magazines, whole magazines with 4D Right Pro. We have a lot of new features. With these features, we have the possibility to create, like I told, even magazines, complex documents, which can look pretty beautiful. In the next example, I want to create a brochure for an artist. So we have a database with informations about artists, informations about the paintings of the artists, and some additional stuff. And we use a few new comments and put together simple, a complex brochure. So the first thing, we create a new document. Therefore, we can use the comment wp new. Which just creates an empty document. The next step is we want to set a title on the first page. The title of this brochure should be the name of the artist and a small subtitle. To set the text or the title, we can basically use a command st set text. We use this command. First parameter is the object for the Right Pro document, and the second parameter is the title or the text we want to set. We repeat the same step for the subtitle, and then we set some attributes with the command wp set attributes. For example, we can use constants like wkey text align to set the align to center, or we can change the font style, the font size, color, or even more. Okay, we now have set the title. And next we want to set something to the header and the footer. We just want to add some text and add some attributes. To do this by programming, we have a new command called WP setFrame, which basically changes the area in which we add the text now to header, footer, or the body. So we just switch between header, footer, and body, or header and footer, and add some text again with stSetText. Also, we can now add attributes with the command WP setAttributes. Okay, now we want to add the biography of the artist. The biography is stored in the database as already existing for the Right Pro document. What we can use is WP create range. With this command, we create a range where the biography should stay, and then we use WP insert document to insert the existing document into our new document. So we can see now the document, the biography is inserted. Okay, next up we want to add some paintings. We want to add some paintings of the artist and some description for every painting. Therefore, we create a table. The command to create a table we again use WP create range and first to create the range where the table should be, and then we use WP insert table. Now we have created the construct, the table, and we want to append rows. We want to add rows. Therefore, we use the command WP append row. And the command basically adds line for line with the informations we want to have in the different table lines. In our example, we want to have in the first row a picture and then a description. And in the second row, we then want a description and the picture. To insert the description and the picture, we use the command WP insert document. And what we get is a table which looks like this. We don't have the basic borders on the of the table. We also have an alternating style because the cells itself are independent. So the type can be in the first cell a picture, in the second cell a text, and in the third row it could alternate. So we have at first the description, then the picture. Also, we can set attributes to the table to remove the borders and add different attributes. Okay. So now we have a few paintings in this table, and we also want to add a few more tables in a kind of reference area with a usual table. So we again use WP create range and WP insert table. And now we don't use any other attributes. We just insert the title of the painting, the size, and the location where it was painted. And we get just a simple table. But like you can see in the third row, the text or the column, the row high is automatically fit to the text in the cell, in the row. Okay, next up we want next up we want to set some pictures for the brochure. We want to add the back portrait. A portrait of the artist, which we want to add on the back cover, and a short description from the artist. Therefore, we can use the command wp add picture, insert picture, sorry, and wp insert picture. And also we use the command again wp set attributes to set some attributes to the picture. In this example, we use wk border style to add a groove border to the picture. For the description, we use wp insert document again. And though we have the picture with the border and the description on the bottom. Okay, now to give the brochure the final cut, we want to add a cover, a background picture for the covers. So in this case, we use the set attributes command again with a constant called wkey background image, and followed by the parameter of the picture. And then we use some more set attributes commands to add attributes like the background clip or the width to 100%, so that the background is clipped on the paper box on the borders of the page, and we don't have a padding or a margin on the a white space on the document. Okay, so now we have created a brochure for an artist, step by step. For sure, we can do the same procedure for some different data. In case we can use just a different artist and see how this looks. Therefore, I just select another artist, create a new document, and say generate brochure. For sure, we can we can print 40 Right Pro documents, and for example, we can show it in the print preview or the XPS viewer, and this is how it could look. Okay, in this example, I just picked a few elements and a few possibilities we can realize with this new features and the new comments. But every one of you can use these comments to create every brochure or magazine or document he needs. Okay. We've done a lot with pictures, background picture, just insert a picture. We heard about a few more things we can do with pictures in 4D Right Pro, which were not possible in 4D Right. We added new comments, new attributes, and also for sure new possibilities to 4D Right Pro to work with pictures in a different way. I want to show you a new comment, WP add picture. With this comment, we can add the picture, like I told, in a different way. So we have just a document here, and we select a picture and use the comment WP add picture. And if we do that, the picture gets inserted in the document on a absolute position. Now, if we want to move the picture, we can just click on it with the Control or the Command key, and then we can move it and resize it freely on the document. Okay. We have a bunch of new attributes for pictures in 4D Right Pro. And there are different ways to set these attributes. For example, we can do this by programming, but we also can do this by standard actions, by using standard actions. First, let me show you how you can use it. You can use standard actions to manipulate these attributes. What we can see here, we have some pop-ups. These pop-ups are assigned, standard actions are assigned to these pop-ups. If you select the picture, you can see the pop-ups get active, and if you lose the focus, they get inactive. Also, they change the value to the set attribute. In our case, we have behind the text. If you change it to in front of the text, we can see the picture just changes the layer and is now in front of the text. Therefore, we don't need any code. It's just by using the standard actions. In older versions of 4D, you had standard actions on buttons. But now, for example, like you can see here, you can assign them to a pop-up, and the pop-up get filled with these values for the layer in front of, in back of, or in line in the text. We have a few more attributes. Here are just a few examples. For example, the picture is on all pages now, and if you change this pop-up to just on the current page, we can see it disappears on all the other pages. Also, we can set the alignment to left, center, right, or the horizontal and the vertical. Yeah. Okay, the same attributes we used for the standard action, we can also use for the attributes. We can also use the attributes by programming. Therefore, we can again use the command WP set attributes. We have pop-ups again, but this time with the programming behind. We use the command and use the constant for the attribute we want to use, like the anchor layout, to set the text, the picture behind the text, or in front of the text again. Also, we have the same attributes for the alignment, and like I told you, these are just a few. We have a bunch more in 4D Right Pro. Okay. Now we'll stick to the standard actions and talk about the toolbar again. We delivered the 4D Right Pro wizard a few time ago, which you could use to manage 4D Right Pro documents, or you can use to manage 4D Right Pro documents. Now we also released a toolbar. The toolbar is basically complete use standard actions, and it is to download, ready to use. It has a modern look, and it is freely customizable because it's written completely in 4D. Okay, a short example how it can look, or how the toolbar looks we offer in the blog. We have on the bottom the 4D Right Pro area. Here, if we type some text and select some text, we see the pop-ups on the top get automatically filled, and we can change the options for the text style. We can cut, we can copy, we can change the alignment. Everything a text engine should be able to. The whole toolbar, like I told, is in 4D, so we can add or remove functions We can adjust the design, customize it so it looks maybe familiar for your customer. For sure, we can use different options to insert objects, like insert a picture. Therefore, we can use comments like w-insert picture or w-add picture to get the absolute positioning for the picture. And also, we can insert expressions just with the toolbar. Okay, sometimes we hear from you developers that you have problems with using the new 4D Right Pro area because your customer don't want to change want to have a change in the behavior. So they want to stick to the toolbar and to the use of to the look of the 4D Right Pro. If you decide you want to use the new features of 4D Right Pro and you want to be future-proof in your application, you have to choose to use 4D Right Pro and lose this design, or you had to. But now we created another toolbar which has the look of 4D Right, but we created this toolbar completely by using the standard actions and the new comments, so that you can use it for the 4D Right Pro area. You can see you have the same look. Can just add it, and also you have the menu bar like it was in 4D Right. The same functionality, but programmed for the 4D Right Pro area. Okay, we saw a document in the keynote, a magazine, a travel magazine. I want to open the same and show you again, do a short summary of the new features you can use to create such a document. Where is it? So on the first page, we can see we have a background picture. We've recently used the common WP set attributes with the constant WP set background picture to add this. On the second page, we can see we have the same. Furthermore, we have here the columns, and we have pictures inserted with no white border on the on the edge. Thanks. So also we have in the summary, you saw it in the keynote, the leading character for the tab. Again, we have some absolute positioned pictures and some columns again, 3 in this case. So on the bottom we have also a table again, with different types in the cells. So we can freely design how the table should look. We also can add, for example, the separation line here between the different continents. And on the back cover we have again a background picture and barcode, which is in absolute position. Okay, this was just a few short look about some of the features. Just a sneak peek, there are much more. And if you follow the blog, you can stay updated about new features which are definitely coming in for the Right Pro. Thanks.